name is Danielle Gianni. I'm an anxiety and OCD recovery coach, helping people reach the lifetime recovery stage for any OCD subset, just like I have, so you no longer have to struggle with OCD in your life. Today we're going to talk about how you stop the OCD relapses, how you stop OCD from coming back over and over and over again and being a debilitating part of your life, because it does not have to be this way. So first I'll tell you why so many people do struggle with relapses, because I was somebody who used to continue to relapse with OCD. I would get a lot better with the tools that I had, but then it would come back and I would go back down that rabbit hole. And I have learned how to reach the lifetime recovery stage, which is where I know what to do to keep myself from relapsing again. And it has been successful for me now for years. So 3 reasons that people continue to relapse. Number 1, they just don't have the right recovery techniques. They don't know what to do or when to do it or when to use those recovery techniques. So they're doing the best they can going through life trying to deal with OCD, or maybe they have a couple tools but they don't have everything they need. You don't know what to do, and that's not your fault. You just maybe haven't learned yet, or it hasn't sunk in yet if you have learned some tools. The next reason is you are still doing compulsions. If you're still participating in compulsions, you're still feeding OCD. And in order to reach the lifetime recovery stage, you need to get those to 0. So not only do you need to identify all your compulsions, but then you need to stop them. Now I know that may sound impossible. I promise you it's not. I've done it and I see people do it every day. It takes time, but it is very possible. And number 3, they're not making this a way of life. If you think about exercising and being physically healthy, we have to exercise. We have to move our bodies in some way. We have to eat well if we want a certain level of health and to look a certain way physically. The same is true for mental health. If you want to continue to have good mental health, you have to continue to use the skills to stay there. What has gotten and keeps me in the lifetime recovery stage is I've learned the recovery techniques. I know what to do with uncertainty and doubt and imperfection in life. They work every single time I use them. It took a lot of consistency and a lot of practice to retrain my brain. They're not something I just use once I'm in the rabbit hole of OCD. I use them to keep myself getting into the rabbit hole of OCD. Nothing sticks anymore. I don't get intrusive thoughts anymore. I know what to do with uncertainty and doubt and life's imperfections, uncomfortable feelings, whether it's OCD or not, so that OCD doesn't stick. I basically don't start obsessing and compulsing. I've made these skills a way of life. And part of that was identifying and getting all of my compulsions to 0. I would relapse because none of my therapists taught me all of my compulsions. And it wasn't until my 3rd out of 4th that told me they needed to be at 0. But nobody helped me identify what all of those were. Nobody helped me hold me accountable to bringing them to 0, which is what I do in my programs. Most people have 15 to 20 compulsions that they're doing, and they only realize about 5 to 8 of them. So if you're doing compulsive behaviors that you don't realize are compulsive, you're feeding OCD unknowingly. So learning and identifying what those are and bringing them to 0 is crucial, as well as making exposure and everything else that I teach a way of life. The real method is what I teach you, and it works. I've never worked with anybody that used this and it didn't work. Where people get stuck is they just don't use it consistently enough, or they don't make it a way of life, and they use it here and there, and they may get some relief, but what happens is they only get as much progress as the effort that they're putting in. If you want to reach lifetime recovery, you have to continue doing that work. And the good news is it's very automatic for me now. I don't even have to think about what's an uncertain thought, what's imperfection in life, and what to do about it. My brain just does it. I've trained it over time, and it does take time. That's the hardest part. It takes time and consistency, but getting the proper information and support through that process is key, and that's what we're here to help you do. Check out the link in the description below. We're here to help you reach the lifetime recovery stage no matter what OCD subset you have. You do not have to deal with OCD for the rest of your life. We'll talk to you soon.